This isn't always a conscious, I'm guilty, so I'll memorize lines decision. It's how the brain handles the extra mental effort of deception. Forensic psychologists have studied this extensively, and it's one of the most reliable patterns in deception detection. Okay? Let's just stop for a second. One of the most reliable, because it's easy to point out. Now you're going to know why. We're talking about cognitive load, because lying is mentally exhausting. Creating and maintaining a false story on the fly uses far more brain power than simply recalling real events. Truth tellers draw from actual memory, which feels automatic. Liars have to invent details, keep them consistent, and monitor what they're saying to avoid slips. A rehearsed script acts as a mental shortcut. It reduces the cognitive load, so the liar doesn't have to improve under pressure or improvise under pressure. Research by psychologist Aldert Vrij, V-R-I-J, who's a leading expert in cognitive load approaches to lie detection, shows that liars prepare their stories in advance precisely because fabricating new details in real time is too demanding. When they go off script, for example, unexpected questions or reverse order recall or follow-ups, the extra load often causes hesitation, contradictions, or vague answers, cues that detectives are trained to spot. We want to talk about the repeat versus reconstruct strategy. Liars deliberately repeat the exact same story every time. The repeat strategy, they know inconsistencies are one of the strongest red flags for deception. By memorizing and parroting a single version, they aim to look credible and consistent across interviews, media appearances, and court. Truth tellers reconstruct from memory each time. Real memories are imperfect and reconstructive, so truth tellers may add new details called reminiscence, forget minor points, or describe events slightly differently. This is normal and actually makes their accounts more believable to trained analysts. Studies show that when liars rehearse, their stories can sound overly polished or rigid, sometimes too consistent compared to the natural variability of truthful recall. No, not the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Janie. Now, I'm talking about strategic and legal reasons for this. Primarily in this case, in my opinion, of course, avoiding self-incrimination. Public statements can be recorded, shared with police, and later compared to evidence, like phone records, timelines, witness statements, Facebook history. Facebook loves to monitor and snoop on your phone, Janie. You getting paranoid? Physical searches. Any deviation becomes powerful courtroom ammunition. Prosecutors love showing a jury side by side. Contradictions. On May 2nd, he said X, but in the interview, he said Y, type of example. Control the public narrative in high-profile cases, especially missing persons or family-involved incidents, which is what we're insisting or speculating about and suggesting Janie is involved in a family-involved incident at this point in time. She well knows that, too. Media interviews shape public opinion and potential jury pools. A tight script keeps the story favorable, limits new details that could trigger tips or searches, and presents the speaker as cooperative or innocent. Minimizing risk under pressure. Anxiety spikes in public or police settings. Sticking to the script lowers the chance of blurting out something only the guilty person would know. A guilty knowledge slip. Oh, Lindy loves Reese's. Hello, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you, Lindy. How detectives and prosecutors exploit this. Investigators use techniques that break the script, asking questions out of order, requesting drawings or maps instead of words, or demanding reverse order retellings. These make it much harder for a rehearsed liar to stay consistent without showing strain. They cross-check the repeated narrative against hard evidence, call logs, Facebook activity, 911 timestamps, etc. The script may hold up initially, but it rarely survives full scrutiny, or scrutiny if it's false, excuse me. That's a tongue twister for me. In court, a rigid, verbatim, repeated story can actually work against the person if it sounds overly prepared or it lacks the natural messiness of real memory. Now, we're experiencing a bunch of messiness, but it has nothing to do with real memory in that sense. In short, the rehearsed narrative is a survival tool. It protects the lie from the liar's own limited mental resources and from external challenges, like Mike Dammann. Truth tellers don't need one. They just tell what happened. This pattern is why statement analysis, comparing repeated accounts for consistency, detail level, and deviations, is a core tool in investigations. It's not foolproof on its own, but combined with physical digital evidence, it helps rule out innocent explanations and narrow in on what actually occurred. Gotta move chat over to see it. What's going on, chat? Hello, it's welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you. Mr. Hemeny, quite the funny man. Yeah, Annette Conway 4722. You're on no one's side except for Jack and the Lily's side. Tired of these weirdos taking sides. Yeah, I hear that. It is tiresome, but unfortunately it gets that way. Don't let it bother you. Captain Justice, welcome in. I'm trying to get my chat in order so I can see it here. Let's have a look at Janie's statement. Let's swap back to it for a moment. Of course, on your screen is a depiction of Anita running away from a mental hospital like this individual described her escape from. Very tongue-in-cheek, very beautiful. Of course, you're welcome. And that is Jamie beside him with a pocket full of rugs. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I got a kick out of that. The first paragraph really answered the whole reason why you're doing this live in the first place, because she's all pissed off at Mike Dammann for whatever reason. So Janie says that I like Mike Dammann better. The thing is, I went on Mike Dammann's and I talked to him. No, you had a conversation back and forward with Mike at your leisure over days, and you chose to send him voice clips. It's not actually, it's not the same sort of thing. What's her problem, do you think? You think he's holding back anything? I doubt it. But it doesn't matter. That's not the point. We're not really necessarily pointing that out. It's just funny when you read it. You know what she's doing. You know, she gets over with Mike and gives him her scripted, rehearsed version. You know, the exact same way she's given it before that we were just reading about. And then she gets into this position of it's he said versus she said. You know, it doesn't matter what was going to happen. She's doing this to make it look like she's the cooperative one and she's being vilified. And the longer that she stays in that state, the better for her in that sense. What's going on, Mayflower? Good to see you. Miss K, hello. Mr. Hemmy, you're no mole. Outspoken, yes, but we love that. Sometimes, most times, yes. I really feel like this Gong Show has turned, Mayflower's talking. I really feel like this Gong Show has turned into Mean Girls. We should be on the same page. Who's we? Where are Jack and Lily? Justice for Jack and Lily. Why do they want to silence us? Right. I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, well, let's see, it's been a thing in this case because of course they want to put it on the RCMP. Oh, it comes back to how worse Daniel can make himself look, facing these SA charges. That's not a very good look. That's not a very positive thing. How are you supposed to put that on your Tinder profile? What's he gonna fucking do now? He's gonna have to go up there and say he's not any of those things on his Tinder profile. Now he's going to have to talk about how he's not an RSO all the time.
Because things aren't going her way.
So, okay. Let me hear the rest.
And another thing. Who would press charges against somebody when their 2 children are missing?
Uh-oh.
Oh, look at
not
that.
Looking for them.
Oh, that's kind of juicy, isn't it? Is that a little bit of insight into her true feelings there? Did she leak her actual emotions? That is the question. That is the game. That's the $60,000 question, friends. Did she leak her true emotions right there? I wonder. What kind of girl lays charges when her kids are missing? What the hell is that supposed to mean, I wonder? What are you insinuating, I wonder? Do you think she's going to allow us any insight into this? I doubt it. We're going to have to take it as it comes. It's a blanket statement, no context. Man, that's a tough one. I'm sure Janie's going to the res for her smokes. Are you thinking about Rochelle? She's getting the $10 rollies, the bag of smokes. I'll take 2 of those big bags of 180, please. Pop one in the freezer. Yeah, those are pretty good. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I still have a nicotine addiction, though. I do like nicotine. Not too much, though. What are you saying, Anastasia? Yes, I was pissed when I heard that DM was there for the interview. So controlling. Then to laugh. He's reprehensible. Yeah, it's leakage, Captain Justice. I agree.
Not begging or pleading for them to come home or...
Yeah, are you pleading? Why don't you give us a better one than the last time?
See what she did right there? Are you pleading? You see, she's listening to Mike. She did a little pleading over on Charmaine's channel. Let me pop that up. How did she close that off? Maybe we'll have a little bit of comedy right here. There's a lot. Holy shit. The transcript is so long. I'm not sure if I can be able to find it in such short notice here. No timestamps. I have to go right to the bottom. So she makes a plea here. He's here and he's free to stay as long as he wants. I'm going to stay in my camper as long as I want until I decide to move back in the trailer. That's my now there. This is my 3rd winter in this camper. Do you feel? And this wasn't, as this is my own question. Well, she's really getting hard to figure out for this translator. Do you feel like there'll be a time when you move back into your trailer, or is this the more permanent now for you? For the moment, I'm very content where I'm at. Daniel lives in the trailer and he has the free range of the trailer, kind of like the chickens. He's here and he's free to stay as long as he wants. I'm going to stay in my camper as long as I want until I decide to move back into the trailer. I bet you she'll be back in there when Danny goes to jail. That's my now there. This is my 3rd winter in this camper. Do you feel, and this wasn't, as this is my own question, do you feel there'll be a time when you move? Why is it repeating? I must be stuck. In repeat here. That's why. Had a little tweak, had a little cutoff. Excuse me. Got a screw loose there. I've got to tighten that up. It was caught on repeat. Tambourine, the Pictou County auction ticked you off to no end, too. It was definitely Danny chuckling. Drove me nuts. He laughed at Jay saying AB lives in his mom's basement. Oh, yeah, up on Charmaine's? I don't think that was Danny in the background. I don't know who that was. People are saying it was Durwood. Dude, having these individuals shout you out and throw hate your way is one of the biggest compliments. You know you're doing things right. I'm not looking to be your friend. I don't want to fucking talk to you. This is a matter of public safety. Jordan, do I dab? No, I don't dab. I don't dab. I should, and I wish I could. Actually, I shouldn't say that. After I take off a crop, there might be some time where I squeeze, and depends if I'm making some water hash in that sense. Might dab up some of that. But I actually haven't in quite some time, and I can't think of the last time I did. So it must have been pretty good. I don't have anything against it. The real Norbeaster shouts Mike out. He's a brilliant man. Can you say crush much? Ha 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 ha. Oh yeah, I just love fucking Mike Dammann too. I hope Janie's listening. I want you to know, Janie, just how much I love Mike. He's just so fantastic. I wish I could apologize to that guy every fucking day. In fact, I'm gonna marry his sister. We're gonna be close. We're gonna be like real detectives. Anita's going to work in the office. She's going to be our Jennifer at the front, like WKRP. What concerns me is Bill C9 hate speech laws. Already going door to door over online posts. How would this affect YouTubers? Yeah, don't worry about that, real Norbeaster. Your legal assistant fishing in a boat. Absolutely. Well, you'd have to submit a resume, of course. It won't matter. She'll be fucking lying all over that too. She'd be like walking in. You remember when Kramer went in and got himself a job? He lied on the resume. Didn't have any idea what he was doing there or anything. He's just trying to get by, making it up as he goes. That's what I think of. But God bless her. I mean, she's a roofer. You know what I mean? Oh, you're being sarcastic, Norbeaster? Yeah, I don't... That's not a situation when it comes to child safety. People are doing the right thing, okay? People out here are doing the right thing, and more people need to do it. Call these things out. Get outraged at them. Be outraged at them. Ain't nobody out there, even in prison, going to be mad at a person of the general public being having a person calling out what the criminal's doing. They're just doing what they do. That's what your job is as a good Samaritan, a member of the public. Helicopter Grandma AB, you can't move in with Mike Dammann. Just saying, Anita is going to be there taking control. Sorry, not sorry. I noticed how jealous she was in comments the other day. She's doing a lot of what we like to call love bombing. I knew she would take the bait. She's love bombing Mike, being overly protective of him, trying to convince her to cut me out of his life. I recognized it right away as an abusive tactic. There's no way that you could ever chase me away from my man. You're just being a sarcastic dick, Norbeaster. Oh, we all are. You all know I'm a loose cannon. Well, we're glad to have you here. I appreciate it. People have a tendency to get a little crazy, a little cynical up in here. Not here, just because of the situation. You never think anything's going on because you feel that you know too much about a situation, but you don't know the real situation that the cops are dealing with. If you did, we'd have just as many complaints. We'd have just as many snarky things to fucking say. You could bet on it. But do we have a real business? It just contradicts the nature of an investigation in the first place when you have a situation like Daniel, Janie, and Malaya covering up what happened to the kids that they reported missing that day. That determines how you're going to deal and how you have to deal with this scenario. You're presented it. You have no choice. And no, one of those factors aren't the police just giving up their hands and finding something else to do. That's not even on that's not part of the variables. That's not on the table.